Hi, it's T. Michelle Birdsong in New York City. Mainstreaming clues to you. CNN accidentally airs the best pro-gun commercial ever. Not clickbait. And it's at the High Impact Blog channel. And some highlights from that video says, the people of Mexico are unprotected by the government. This is what a young girl is saying to CNN's Anderson Cooper. And he's standing there expressionless as usual. The people of Mexico are afraid. They are attacked by the drug cartels. The people of Mexico are not allowed to have guns. So she says, hold on to your guns, people. Okay, then in Business Today, this says a Dachi case, 6 days to deadline, RSSB chief Dillon and family back off from court appearances, citing surgeries, satsang as reasons. Eve said, for the second time, this is Gurinder Singh Dillon, Jesus Christ. She said, for the second time, Jesus Christ is being persecuted. Though he does only good, he is a perfect living master, now named Gurinder Singh Dillon. He founded the Dera Baba Jamal Singh, an actual heaven on earth. Everything about what began as a parcel of land inhabited by ghosts and goblins, demons and devils, all manner of evil spirits. The land was sanctified by Seth, Shiv, Dayal, known as the supreme god by his disciples in Agra, now known as Seth Ranziger, Eve's grandson. Swamiji Maharaj, as he is affectionately referred to by Jesus Christ, Charan Singh, now Gurinder Singh Dillon, meditated for 17 years and made the Dera land sacred. Even the Beas River backed up, leaving fertile soil where the river had been. Before Swamiji left his body, for the final time, he appointed Baba Jamal Singh as his successor. Baba Jamal Singh has been reborn as Gurinder Singh, Jesus Christ, the Buddha, St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, St. Valentine, all these forms of love in the one body of Gurinder Singh Dillon. He has from 4 million up to 20 million disciples worldwide. He doesn't charge a penny. And he hosts his disciples a few at a time at the Dera, not charging for their 3 meals a day, nor for their modern room for Westerners. And though he meets with his disciples twice a day to give them darshan, drishti, eye bliss, and answer any questions they have. My daughter, Robin Michelle Birdsong, just left the Dera. There she is on the train with her seatmate. She's sitting on the train with her seatmate coming back from the Dera. And she just left the Dera. We're feeling his unmistakable vibrations of love. She was so happy. She was conscious and uplifted. Lifted up to the highest vibration of feeling gratitude. Babaji as Gurinder Singh Dillon, Jesus Christ, is lovingly called by his disciples, they call him Babaji, has built up the Dera, the headquarters of the Radhaswami faith, into a thriving township of happy, productive, efficient Sabadars, volunteers. Babaji himself is a volunteer. He does not accept any donations for his personal use, and only satsangis are permitted to make donations. For the hospital, they have 3 free hospitals. So. Example, Amy's, the lacto-vegetarian food company, along with a few other people, I believe, donated land in Petaluma, California, and a meeting place was created for Masters Babaji to meet with his disciples. My estranged husband, Michael John Spear, once Sawan Singh, the master, appointed by Baba Jamal Singh, now Gurinder Singh, recently saw Babaji, Charan Singh Gurinder Singh, in Petaluma, when he met with his disciples. What's significant about that is Sawan Singh had, when he was master, brought his grandson, Charan Singh Jesus Christ, at 5 years old to live in his house at the Dera, and made him suck his dick. Babaji Jesus Christ Charan Singh, now Gurinder Singh Dhillon, has moved out of his house at the Dera and into the house he lived in when he had been Charan Singh Jesus Christ, and his present number 1 wife, T. Michelle Birdsong, had been Sawan Singh's wife. Sawan Singh is Michael John Spear, and as she is again in this life. In other words, T. Michelle Birdsong is Michael John Spear, Sawan Singh's wife, this life, and she was Sawan Singh's life in the past. Sawan Singh wrote in one of his books that at one point he could not urinate for 6 months. He could not avoid the karma for making Jesus Christ suck his penis. Baba Jamal Singh had appointed Sawan Singh master, and Baba Jamal Singh had projected himself as my mother, Corinne Beatrice Crowder, called by the people in our town, Clarksville, Tennessee, Miss Frog. When Sawan Singh, Michael John Spear, followed me, his previous wife, and entered my mother, the projection of Gurinder Singh's womb, she expelled him. She aborted him. She told my sister Helen Anderson Long, who had been Althea Gibson, and Lizzie Barton, and I, that she had aborted our brother. We were quite young, and I was horrified and upset. I longed for my brother, Sawan Singh, Michael John Spear, and he longed for me, Mrs. Sawan Singh, T. Michelle Birdsong. 30 years later, our longing drew us together, and I became T. Michelle Birdsong Spear. We met at the New York satsang. I lived in New York because American Airlines Chicago base wasn't open to new stewardesses when I graduated from Stewardess College across from Love Field in Fort Worth, Dallas, Texas area. Love Field is a airport. Love Field. Feel love. That's what I do. And I elected to come to New York City, the LaGuardia Airport in Queens, New York. I had developed a curiosity about New York when I was a junior in high school, Burt High School. The sample addresses in my typing textbook at the time often said New York City. And I couldn't understand what boroughs were. What do they mean by boroughs? I couldn't picture them. My experience at that time was living in a segregated small town of 23,700 people in Clarksville, Tennessee. I figured the 700 were the colored population. Michael John Spear Sawan Singh had come to New York to die. He had turned himself into a homosexual, mostly by masturbating, when he was a teen with other teen boys, and they would masturbate each other. And he got the belief, made the decision during one of those times he was masturbating, that he was a girl substitute. His culture of West Covina, California, kept boys and girls apart, was his excuse. Sawan Singh, Michael John Spear. Although I understand that teen boys are very horny. That's common knowledge. Okay, so his Sawan Singh, Michael John Spear, that decision went when he into his subconscious programming hidden from him. When he was in graduate school, his PhD was about decision making. So he really regretted that decision, I guess. Michael John Spear Sawan Singh was born with that karma. Karma. K for kids, ARM for arm, Ma, her sucked. Kids and Ma's arms sucked her. Their children, Sawan Singh and Mrs. Sawan Singh's children, sucked Mrs. Sawan Singh's teat, and Sawan Singh was jealous for years. Sawan Singh was celibate. He wanted to break the rules, suck her breast, and have sex with her, with his wife. She followed the rules, however. So, where am I? He was threatened by this bond of the mother and child. So he had his grandson suck his cock as if it was a mother's teat. Sawan Singh was from the lineage of Sant Mat of Sant Tulsi. Tulsi Sahib became Mrs. Sawan Singh. You see what happened? Tulsi Sahib reincarnated as Mrs. Sawan Singh. She was tortured, was torn between her love for her 5-year-old Jesus Christ Charan Singh grandson and her worship of her husband, Sawan Singh Michael John Spear. I need to put that there. 5-year-old grandson. Okay. So, who she believed? She believed Sawan Singh could do no wrong because he had been sold to her as a perfect living master in whom evil could not exist. You heard them say Lucifer's big boon is that they believe he doesn't exist. Evil doesn't exist. Mrs. Sawan Singh, Tulsi Sahib, T. Michelle Birdsong became mentally unbalanced, unable to make sense of her husband's behavior, and unable to watch her grandson having to perform oral sex on her husband. Her heart was so soft it broke, and her mind followed. Meanwhile, in Clarksville, Tennessee, T. Michelle Birdsong Minnow, Mildred Anderson's great-grandmother, Mrs. Sally Kendrick, whose mother had been a Blackfoot Indian husband, a wealthy tobacco plantation owner, was sexually molesting their girl child, Mildred Kendricks, Swamiji's wife, Melanie Spear. When Mildred grew up, she blamed her mother, Sally Kendricks, for not protecting her. Even if she had to give her away, she wouldn't have minded. So Mildred Melanie L. Spear married an alcoholic, John Henry Crowder. Mildred suspected he had been sexually molesting her baby. Frog, Corinne Crowder. Projection of Baba Jamal Singh. Baby, B-A-B-Y. Okay. And Baba Jamal Singh, who had appointed the pedophile Sawan Singh. And Mildred gave her baby away as she had wished her mother would have done for her. She wished her mother would have given her away. And I wished my mother, Baba Jamal Singh's projection, Miss Frog, had given me away. She told me when I was 4 years old that she had never wanted me, had tried to abort me, but her ears started ringing like dinner bells, and she stopped the abortion. She told me she had only wanted one child. She had been an only child. She said she didn't know what to do with me. But she believed she messed up her life because her mother had given her away. Nevertheless, she did the same thing her mother had done. At 6 years old, she gave me to Andoni and Brother Wright, the same Christian couple her mother had given her to. The good thing was I could come home on weekends, and either my mother said I could come back home at age 12, or she said whenever I wanted to. I know I packed my bags and moved back into my mother's house when I was 12. At age 12. Whoops. She had married an alcoholic, and his relatives lived nearby. Indeed, they were the only kids my age that lived nearby. They wouldn't play with me until I hung around while they tried to ignore me. One girl said I thought I was better than her. I didn't know what she was talking about. After weeks of this, they gave in and let me play with them. My mother was at work, or my sister a baby. She was playing, or the mother too, and her boyfriend, Charles Kelly. Was with. Okay. Satmat can be defined as the teachings, mat, of the saints, sants, or sages, or path of the masters. In India, it's common knowledge that the term Satmat was coined or adopted by Param Saint Tulsi Sahib of Hathras during the 19th century. Satmat was adopted and popularized by Tulsi Sahib in a new name for the spiritual path or genre of mysticism, or branches of mysticism, but the Sant tradition, with its many guru lineages or branches, is a spiritual movement that dates back many centuries to ancient India. The 15th century poet, mystic, and spiritual master Kabir can be credited with helping to expand greatly the influence of the Sants, and S-A-N-T-S, Sants, in India. But Kabir was not the first Sant, and it is unknown who his guru was. Gurinder Singh Dhillon in my ear informs me that Kabir's master was Rabbi Michelle Birdsong, the guru lost in Radhaswami history. Kabir has been reborn as Sally Kendricks, who is Robin Michelle Birdsong's niece, Ostara Gloria, who Sally Kendricks went blind, grew cataracts, a veil over her eyes, because she could not bear to see her husband, John Kendricks, sexually molesting Mildred Kendricks, their little girl, who had been Swamiji's wife. Wanting my mother to give me away to a school teacher and her husband, Lanice Brett Moore, a woman she went to school with, my mother went to school with, who had no children of her own. She seemed successful and happy. My mother was always worried and poor, unsuccessful. Okay, so I'll have to do a part 2 because the time's run out on this. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something about the Holy Royal family.